Hi, Dr. Davenport and class of 2017. My name is Chane Wray, and today I am back talking about selecting a study design. So what's the difference between quantitative and qualitative research? Quantitative research is well structured, it's specific, it's tested for validity and reliability, and it could be replicated because it measures magnitude, like how much. Qualitative research is usually unstructured, and its main focus is to usually explain and explore. So this study is flexible, it's nonlinear, and there's no sequence to it. So replication is usually hard. So first up is quantitative research, and you may be wondering, how do I pick a study design? An easy way to remember this is 1, the number of contacts with the study population, 2, reference period of the study, and 3, nature of the investigation. So as I mentioned, you can classify quantitative research in a number of ways, and one is by the number of contacts with the population. So one contact would be a cross-sectional study. An example of this may be the attitudes of students towards the facilities available at NSU. An advantage of this is it's cheap, however, it cannot measure change. Two contacts with your population would be a before and after study, so this measures change, impact, or effectiveness. However, there are some disadvantages, such as it's more expensive, it's a longer duration to complete, and attrition. 3 or more contacts would be a longitudinal study, so this determines patterns of change, trends in relation to time. So you visit a population a number of times at regular intervals. So another way you can classify is by the reference period. Retrospective would be a phenomenon that happened in the past. Prospective would be a likely prevalence of a phenomenon, so you attempt to establish the outcome or event, and this is usually where intervention takes place. Retrospective prospective study focuses on past trends in a phenomenon and studies it into the future. So this is similar to a before and after with no control or before group. You are just using past trends. And lastly, for classifying quantitative research, you are classifying based on the nature of the investigation. So you can have an experimental study, which introduces an intervention that produces change. So this is more of a cause and effect study. Or you can have a non-experimental study. So this starts from the effects to trace the cause. And then lastly, you can have a quasi or a semi-experimental study, which has characteristics of both experimental and non-experimental. However, if you are not interested in quantitative research, so if you are interested in qualitative research, you can try some of these designs. There are case studies, which is a holistic and in-depth exploration of your population. There are focus groups or group interviews, which take data on the attitudes and perceptions from free and open discussion, which is facilitated by a researcher. And then there are also participant observation studies, which a researcher first develops a report and then makes a detailed account of what you observe. And there are many more types of qualitative research study designs, as you can see. So this presentation gave everyone a little bit of insight on how to select a study design. If you're still a little confused, here's one last piece of advice. Thank you all for listening.